Hi, my name is Jay Roach. I'm the director of the movie Meet the Parents.
Are you a pothead fucker?
No.
The Austin Powers franchise.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Bombshell. And today we're going to talk about the opening sequence in Austin Powers 3 Goldmember. This is a study in tone contrast. And I thought it would be a good idea to talk about this scene because it's such a good exercise in pure preparation. Because you don't want to be directing Steven Spielberg and not know what you're doing.
My friend here thinks it's fine the way it is.
I had about 8 hours to do the whole scene, and there are a lot of complicated elements that went into it. So let's go through it, and I can get at some of the specific choices. When you're shooting a scene that involves so many stunts and a visual effect component, it's super important to have it all storyboarded down to a T. Every time Austin is seen in any sort of close shot, this is a guy hanging in a green screen on a soundstage. The ambitious version of it actually was that Austin was going to jump out of an airliner, but we ended up just simplifying it. We found these incredible stunt parachute guys who had done these videos where they were running upside down in midair and filming each other with helmet cams, and we said we just have to get those guys. This stunt actually was a really dangerous stunt where this guy cuts himself loose from this parachute and drops into the car. That actually happened on that day. We had to come up with a way to have it seem remote controlled, but actually be driven by a stunt guy. In this case, this seat is the stunt guy. He's basically a guy dressed as a seat. In certain parts of the frame, you might sneak up and see his hand touching the bottom of the steering wheel because that's how he's driving. One of the other really important aspects of the design of this scene was to exaggerate the action so much that it seemed ridiculous. The idea of Austin Powers hitting an ejector seat, which is an old-fashioned spy movie technique, launching up into the sky, flipping over, and shooting the helicopter down from above while he's flipping through the air. It just seemed like a big, exaggerated joke. This is a person on wires in a soundstage. And again, Dave Johnson put in the fire in the sky in visual effects.
Yeah, baby.
This reveal was a big deal. People went crazy in the audience.
Hi, I'm Dixie. Dixie Normus.
An important part of the design of the sequence was this idea of contrasting the sort of primitive, fun, lower budget style of Austin Powers with a very high-tech, big budget feel. I think we had been watching Mission Impossible, probably why we thought about Tom Cruise to play Austin. So we had to attract celebrities.
Hey, Powers! You better watch your friggin' self because this is one doctor who does make house calls. Right, Mini-Me?
Hey, assholes! I'm right over here! I'm Mini-Me! Come and get me!
once we had gotten through this big budget version of Austin Powers, we wanted to shout cut.
And cut!
That's a cut, everybody. Moving on, check the gate, please.
And reveal that, oh, that's what you would do if you were Steven Spielberg.
So, Austin, what'd you think of the opening credits?
Well, I can't believe Sir Steven Spielberg, the grooviest filmmaker in the history of cinema, is making a movie about my life. Very shagadelic, baby, yeah! Having said that, I do have some thoughts.
Really? My friend here thinks it's fine the way it is.
But Austin says, hold on a second, I kind of wish there was a little more mojo, Austin-style mojo.
Well, no offense, Sir Stevie, but you gotta have mojo, baby, yeah! Hit it!
And then you see the contrast kick in the way Austin would go at it, Mike Myers' version of Austin Powers. And you get a sense of, this is what Austin Powers is all about. Which is just pure fun. Then we go through this whole longer journey through the backlot in his own style. And it's so much about color. You could just do an essay about color in this sequence. We did the homage to Singing in the Rain. There's also a nice homage within an homage. The umbrellas of Cherbourg is part of what inspired the spinning, colorful umbrellas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Quincy Jones! This is where the movie gets its mojo, baby. Groovy.
We reveal, of course, that the soul of our whole thing is Soul Bossa Nova, Quincy Jones's song from 1962, which we didn't even know what the film was going to be in the first movie until we found that song and said, this is Austin Powers. Such a great opportunity to credit Quincy for his inspiration in the movie.
All right, everybody. Music video, take 2.
It's Britney Spears!
And then we have Austin face off his style versus the style of something else that was going on in the back lot, which was Britney Spears shooting a video for her song Boys. This is a tone contrast. The whole Britney world is all black and white. There's almost no color. There's a huge amount of pyrotechnics. Of course, Austin gets to use dance and movement to destroy the fembot that is Britney Spears. In the case of the way the fembot's heads explode, it's such a primitive technique. You just undercrank the camera to 2 frames. They move their heads around at normal speed, but because it's undercranked, it looks like they're just jerking around and short-circuiting, that, of course, their heads explode.
Oops! I did it again, baby. Yeah!
And so then the last big closer of the sequence is we pretty much have everything you could possibly get into the shot, including even floating peace signs and man and woman symbols. But Mike said, you know, would it kill you to have a guy in the bottom of the frame juggling kittens with sparks coming out of his ass? If you pay close attention to the very end of that shot, you'll see me juggling stuffed kittens with sparks actually coming out of my ass. And then my director's credit comes up right at the bottom. So that's how we pulled off the introduction sequence to Austin Powers 3. I hope it was interesting to you, and I want to ask you, what are some of your favorite introduction sequences? Tell us about it in the comments below.